Welcome back, everybody, to What's Real. We're kind of taking a break from learning about how films are made, and we are talking to a company that I use personally. We use here at Park City Television. They have editing software for video, pictures, audio. We're talking about Adobe. They're a fantastic company, and they're here at Sundance. Here to talk about what Adobe is doing at Sundance, we have Margot Knack.
Hi.
Hi. Thanks for coming on.
You're welcome. Thanks for having us.
So I'm fanboying out because I love Adobe. I love your guys' products. I mean, again, we use Premiere, Audition, Photoshop, Lightroom, After Effects all the time here at Park City Television. So when they're like, yeah, you're interviewing someone from Adobe, I was like, oh no. Like I started fanboying out. So what's Adobe doing at the festival?
So we do a lot at the festival. Adobe's been a sponsor of Sundance for over 10 years, and we sponsor the Ignite program, which is for young filmmakers, the Momentum Filmmaking Fellowship, which is for people of diverse backgrounds. We sponsor the Next category, which is for emerging, really innovative storytelling. Because to us, what's important is really broadening how many stories can be told and making sure that people who have interesting things to say have the tools and the access they need to be able to do that.
Because one of the worst things I can think of is someone being creative should be a filmmaker not having the tools to make their films.
Right, and so it's really important to us that we make our tools as accessible as possible and that we support programs that offer mentoring and training and coaching and access so that once you're making your content, people can see it.
Now, I was on the red carpet for Mike Wallace's here, and I was talking to the editors, and they said, yeah, we use Premiere, because I was just curious on like what bigger films use, and they're like, Premiere, and I was like, oh, I do too. What does it mean for Premiere to have recognized films, accomplished films, using your guys' editing software? Because that must feel pretty good.
It feels awesome, and we actually had a couple of films at Sundance last year that have gone on to do great things. So Searching was in the Next category. It did really well at the box office. The documentary RBG about Ruth Bader Ginsburg was also at the festival last year. Both of those were edited in Premiere, and so we're always thrilled when feature-length films, and in particular, Premiere is really well suited to documentaries too. When they use Premiere and they use our other tools in Creative Cloud to make their visions become real, because I think what that does is tell aspiring filmmakers and people who are hobbyists or people who have ideas like, well, if they used Premiere and After Effects and Photoshop to make a feature film, I can do that too.
And you just mentioned a program that I think a lot of people may have just realized Adobe is the partner of, or the company of, is Photoshop. Because I know a lot of people are like, oh, can you Photoshop that and everything? It's almost a running joke when people take photos now, like, oh, Photoshop it. And I don't think some people may have just been like, oh, Adobe has Photoshop.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you guys have huge, huge products.
Yeah, Photoshop, I mean, it's obviously like the industry standard, and it's now 30 years old. And Premiere and After Effects have really long histories as well. So yeah, Adobe's been in the business of enabling creatives forever.
So what's the most exciting thing so far about the 2019 Sundance Film Festival for Adobe?
Yeah, so there's a lot that's really exciting for us. First off, a majority of films in the festival used Premiere Pro to edit, which is fantastic for us. I mean, as recently as like 4 years ago, the number was really small. It was like 25 films or 30 films, and now we're well over half of the festival. And then an even bigger majority of films has used our other tools. So whether that's a combination of Premiere and After Effects or After Effects and Photoshop, our creative tools are, again, kind of industry standard for filmmaking. And
can you talk about maybe how easy it is to use those tools? Because as someone who uses them every day, it's easy. I'm going to talk about jargon that some people may not know about. I can go into Premiere, edit the video, and be like, I got to do audio editing. All right, let me click on the top, drag down, let me edit an Audition. Now I'm doing audio editing. It's all so congruent and so just easy to make everything go through each program.
And that's the whole point, right? We want to give you the tools that you need to do whatever it is, whether it's sound or graphics or titles or the editing itself. And we want to make that experience as smooth and seamless as possible so that you don't have to think too hard about how to get something done. It's intuitive, it's easy. You're not super conscious of going back and forth between apps, and there's nice, smooth interoperability. So our engineering teams work really hard on that. And I've been spending all week talking with editors, and almost to a person, they're all self-taught.
Yeah.
So they pick up the software. It's really easy to learn. You can customize it however your brain works.
Yes.
That's how you can set up the products. So they love it because it just lets them do what they want to do.
Now, what's in store for Adobe in the future? Because I'm sure you guys have some big and bright stuff coming up. Any hints?
I feel like Pinky in the Brain, like we're going to take over the world.
Yes.
Well, we're always working on feature
Yeah.
improvements, and we release new features all the time. One of the big areas of focus for us is to continue to make that experience of using the different applications even more smooth and even more seamless. Obviously, in the video space, there are always new formats. There are always new tools and features that people ask for.
Yeah.
So again, a lot of what we do here at the festival is talk to people who use our software so that we can understand, are there any gaps that we need to fill? Are there things you want from the tools that we're not giving you? And then we take that back to our product teams.
As a user, I can't say how important it is for me to be able to talk to a company and have them listen to feedback, because I feel like that just shows how much you guys actually care about the product and care about the people who are using the product. Where can people go to talk to you guys at the film festival?
So we have been all over the film festival. The Ignite program starts today, actually, and so we've got a whole team of Adobe folks on the ground with the Ignite program, which is the Young Filmmakers program. So that's where we are now. We spent the last week, we were at the Dell space, but you can always reach us online. We're like everybody else. We're on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and YouTube. So you can always reach out to Adobe through those channels as well.
Well, I mean, you guys are making it easy for people to use your products. You guys are also giving voices to some filmmakers who may have not had the tools to express themselves. Thank you so much for coming on, and
You're
thank you so
welcome.
much for being at Sundance. Again, I'm fanboying out. I'm like, oh my God, it's Adobe. Yeah, like I use your guys' products literally every single day, whether it's at Park City Television or at home on my own personal stuff. Adobe is everywhere. It's always installed on one of my computers. So thank you so much for
You're
coming
welcome.
on. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
So guys, definitely if you're looking maybe to get into some photo editing, audio editing, video editing, whatever it may be, CGI, check out Adobe. They have tons and tons of products that you're going to want to use if you want to be any type of filmmaker or just photojournalist or anything. We have plenty more coming up on What's Real after these breaks.